Hi there, I am here live 9 o'clock on the dot, and I have a topic for you that I would love to just share with you that I thought may be a good first topic for our Facebook Live today. And I posted it in the top bar there, but just to repeat, I'm going to read that. So the topic for today is going to be dealing with feeling no motivation and how to balance taking care of the little ones and taking care of me as the single mama at the same time. So I just to tell you a little bit about myself, anybody that doesn't know me on this page or on this Facebook Live, my name is Princella Stringer, and I am an empowerment coach for single moms. And my mission is to help you focus and tap into your God-given talents, to connect the dots of what you're naturally interested in, to connect the dots with what your interests are and what your practiced talents are, meaning, you have things that you've become good at because you've been practicing them and learning them and honing them in. And we'll talk more about that later. And also those linked with life experiences. Now, all of those things are how we figure out making sense of it all and making sense on why you, in particular, were blessed with the life of a single mother. And some questions to think about that I'd like you to think about during this live for you is, have you ever, as a single mom, do you ever feel judged? Or are you ever wondering if you're being, or do you ever feel like or wonder why you're being misunderstood? Or maybe you're also wondering why you can't find anything in common with the people around you. So you see, I started to believe and started to recognize in my own life and with women that I've worked with that when a woman has experienced single or young motherhood, many times that leads to relationship issues. And really, whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, when relationship issues exist, barriers are formed. Barriers happen. These barriers begin blocking you from achieving your greater truth and what you were here to do. So, but here's what I know about your greater truth. Your greater truth. You were created for a greater purpose than your current understanding of your purpose. You were created for a greater purpose than your current understanding. You have gifts and talents that you've grown and you've fashioned and you've been working on, but somehow we just kind of put those out. We dampen out that fire. We put that on the back burner, put it on the bookshelf. So I want to invite you to start thinking about what those gifts and talents are that you have. Another great truth about you is that you have a deep, deep desire to be the woman that you were meant to be and the mom that you were meant to be. And I'm here to say that it is time, now is the time to reevaluate, amp it up, and I really pray that this time together will help us to be able to do that. Each week, I will be discussing one topic at a time. So if you miss this live session, that's okay because we'll have it posted on the Facebook page and you can catch it on the replay. The only thing I ask is that when you come on that you share a comment and let me know that you visited, let me know what you're thinking and what you'd like to hear more about. So as I said, today we'll address a big one, dealing with feeling no motivation. That's huge. It's huge because we have so many things that we want to accomplish. And how do we balance taking care of the little one and taking care of me? So, by the way, that brings to mind, if you have a certain topic that you'd like to talk about next time, at any time, I'd love for you to just post that in the comments. As we're talking, some things may come up for you that you want to discuss next time, or that you want more support in, or you want to hear advice on. Maybe you want to hear what other single moms have done on a certain topic. Many things that I have heard from single moms are, stresses that they feel as a single mom. So I want to hear from you, what stresses you out most as a single mom? What keeps you up late at night? You know, these are the things that you're pondering at night that you just cannot sleep. We already don't get enough sleep, right, as single moms. So what is keeping you up at night? What is it that you want to get more advice or counsel on? What is the one thing that if God granted you one wish in full, paid in full, if he granted you one wish, what would that wish be? So today, as I said, we'll talk about that topic of motivation. And some things that some women have shared with me that keeps them up at night, that they want to have answers to or advice on, is being able to just do things and enjoy time with their children. Many single moms just want to feel the balance of all the to-dos and the balance of being able to spend time with the little ones. I'm actually kind of curious if that is an issue for you that keeps you up at night or keeps you just in strife and wanting to do better at. Leave a 1 in the comments. That will help me remember what the things are that you've said you would love to talk about next. So again, leaving a 1 in the comments says that you're saying that one of the things that keeps you up at night, one of the issues that you want to resolve, is how to enjoy life with your children, because you want to feel balanced in all the to-dos and you want to be present with the kids when you are together. So another thing that many women have said to me is earning a better income. You know, but I think we all kind of feel that way. We want to earn a better income, and if that is something that is a top issue for you, leave a 2 in the comments. And that kind of tells me what to talk about next and what kind of information to bring to the table for you. So if earning a better income is the top thing that keeps you up at night, let me know by dropping a 2 in the comments. And then the third thing that I found that women have talked about time and time again is relationship issues. Now, I felt this, certainly I felt all of these things in my life, but relationship issues was one that really I had a hard time with. So these are the relationships that are in your life that count the most to you and your children. These are the relationships that you really want to be stronger with. Maybe it's getting along with your ex. Maybe it's getting along with your ex's new girlfriend. Maybe it's coworkers. You can't seem to get along with coworkers so that you can earn that better income, right? So if this is true for you, put a 3 in the comment box. If none of these are true for you, put something in there that tells me what you would like to hear more about. So back to the topic that we are going to address today, dealing with feeling no motivation and how to balance taking care of little ones and taking care of me at the same time. So first things first, mindset. What does that mean, mindset? Mindset issues are huge in how we feel about things that we need to act on and things that we need to do. When we have no motivation, thinking back clearly on what it is that gets in the way of pressing forward in the thing that we need to accomplish. So I'd like you to think for just a moment. If you have any unresolved issues from the past that may be linked to the thing that you want to be motivated to accomplish, this may be holding you back from achieving that goal. Big or small, when mindset issues are connected with that, it becomes a barrier to accomplishing that goal. So do you have unresolved issues from the past that are directly related to what you're lacking motivation in completing? Now, the topics that we're talking about here are big life-changing topics that you want to get motivated to accomplish so that you can achieve certain things. Maybe it's going back to school. Maybe it's doing independent study at your house. Maybe it's just, cleaning your house, taking care of your responsibilities at home. Let's face it, I struggle with with motivation to clean also. But taking a look at what are the things that I'm lacking motivation to complete and why. So we're looking at mindset issues from that. So if every time you try to do something new, or a particular thing that's new to you and you know it's going to be a huge shift and change for you and your family, and you give up, you lose interest, you procrastinate. That was a huge issue for me, procrastinating when I didn't want to get something done. So if every time you've tried to accomplish this one particular thing, and here's the thing, you know that one particular thing that I'm talking about, that one particular thing that you don't have the motivation to accomplish, and you end up giving up, losing interest, procrastinating. This is obviously a sign of some unresolved issues. Some of the things that are signs of it being an unresolved issue or an unresolved issue existing when you go to accomplish that goal are certain feelings that will come up. So the moment in your day-to-day experience, your day-to-day life, you instantly start feeling regret or remorse. Maybe you're feeling some shame associated with it, or anger, or denial, or sadness. These 6 signs they reveal that there is an unresolved issue to accomplish. So looks like I lost connection for a second there, but I think I'm back on. So do these feelings fester up with certain topics? So I would love to hear actually in the comments if there is something in particular that when you go to think about doing this, I think this has happened many times for women that want to go back to school. All of a sudden they're feeling some regret that they didn't finish before when they were going to school. Maybe they literally get angry when they start thinking about going back to school, because then that means finding a childcare or reliable childcare. Maybe that means a negative experience that you had. Maybe you had reliable childcare and that person didn't come through for you, and it really gets you angry that you cannot go back and finish, or you feel like you cannot go back and finish school. So take a look at what is that thing that you want to be motivated to accomplish, and every time one of these feelings come up for you. And then peeling back those layers. We like to say, I have a circle of friends that we like to say it's like peeling an onion layer after layer and finding out what is that unresolved issue. So one thing I would like to offer you, if you think that this is something that happens for you, which it does happen for most people, I have a tool to help you with dealing with that unresolved issue. So if you want the tool that I have, just post any kind of face emoji in the comments, or if you don't want it public, just send me an instant message, and then I will send you the tool that I have. And this tool will help you just kind of dissect what is the thing that you want to be motivated to accomplish, and what are the feelings that come up with trying to accomplish that goal. And then the exercise continues to help you figure out how to resolve that issue. What am I going to do next so I can bring peace to that situation and it doesn't keep festering, and I can once and for all resolve that issue so that it doesn't keep popping up. So that is my suggestion for that part. So if you want the tool, please go ahead and put a face emoji, any kind of face emoji that you love, in the comments so that I remember that that is what you're asking for. So many times when we lack motivation, we need to address a mindset issue. And another next step in getting your motivation going, after you have addressed, if you have an unresolved issue, the next step is going to be for us to take a look at integrity. So integrity really is one of my favorite words. This is the little thing that's in the back of our mind, or the thought or the feeling in the back of our mind that causes us to do things when nobody's looking, right? If we have a high level of integrity, we don't need anyone to check that we're doing what we should be doing, right? So when you have something that you want to be motivated to accomplish, the next thing that we're going to do is check where our integrity level is. Now, I looked up definitions of integrity, right? And I found a couple different definitions. So it depends on where you look it up. But one of the definitions was that integrity is the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles, moral uprightness. But actually, my favorite definition was really definition number 2, the state of being whole and undivided. The state of being whole and undivided. This was a definition of integrity that I found. So why is number 2 my favorite definition? Because to me, that says the state of being whole and undivided with ourselves. So you can look at a situation and you can respond and react because it is the way that you believe and it is true to you and to yourself. So in other words, this thing that you're trying to become motivated in accomplishing, that it's in line with you. It's in line with what you value. And it's in line with what you're gifted in, what your natural gifts and talents are, your natural abilities are. It takes you further along the path of achieving the goals that you want to achieve. So if there's something in the back of your mind that is saying, this thing that I need to be motivated to do is not in line with what's important to me, it's not in line with what I care about and what I value, that's certainly going to knock down that level of motivation to get that done. So with this, we want to look at, what do I value? What is important to me? So the first time I was looking at this for myself, it was a challenge for me to figure out, okay, this is a non-negotiable in my life. I need to have this in my life. And it's not an easy thing to assess. So be in integrity with yourself, and when you're in integrity with yourself and you come to recognize what you value, what's important to you, what's important to your family life and your children's life, then you can move forward with that motivation. As a matter of fact, finding and aligning with your values will make that motivation be much, much easier to build up and to live through and live with. So when you're in line with your integrity, with yourself, and the way you believe God would have you do, this is when your motivation comes into full force. So here's one thing that I like to do when I'm conflicted with where my motivation level is. I like to personally just ask, would this be pleasing to God? Would this be pleasing to God if I followed through with this activity? If I followed through with applying for this job? If I followed through with going back to school? If you have someone that motivates you and that you look up to, you may ask, would this be pleasing to my mentor that I admire? Would this be pleasing to my grandparent? As I said, one thing that I like to turn to, would this be pleasing to God? And would he have this for me? If I were able to ask him, would this be pleasing to him? So you do a couple things with this question in asking, is it pleasing to God? You're aligning yourself with what's important, and then you know what happens? You get an answer. If it is in line with what God has intended for your life and to accomplish in your life, you will get an answer. And if you feel that the answer is yes, you may be onto something that will align all of those things for you and get you headed in the direction of what God has truly intended to happen in your life. And you may be start getting in line with what this is all for. Have you ever had something happen in your life and it's so confusing on why you're having to go through this trial and tribulation? It's so confusing on why it's happening. So when we turn to God and we ask him, is this pleasing to you, God? And he gives us a feeling of, yes, this is what you should be doing. This is what I want for you. That will help guide us in the right direction of what God has intended for you. Now, I want to also say that, I am not a pastor. I have not studied how to connect with God. I just know my personal story and what I have experienced in this. And I strongly believe that he will show you by asking you, and you will get the answer. Now, unfortunately, that doesn't mean that he's going to download a blueprint of exactly what the next steps are. But guaranteed, you will get a feeling, you will get a word that will guide you in the right direction. So, a couple things we're looking at here when we're talking about values. Is it in one way to know the integrity for yourself is to evaluate what you value. So this is another thing that I also have a tool for, to identify your values. I had mentioned earlier that when I was looking at what I value, it was a challenge. I really had to sit down and think about what were my top values. So if that's something that you struggle with, or you'd like to just see the tool that I have, I'd be happy to send it to you. Put in the comments a flower emoji. We're going to change it up a little bit. Put a flower emoji in the comments or instant message me, and I would be happy to send you the tool that I have to identify your values. So just some closing and final thoughts that I have for you. Just kind of recapping, two things that I mentioned here that are hugely important to finding your motivation to accomplish a task, accomplish a goal, a life mission, accomplish making a change on how you live day to day in your single motherhood life. So we talked about two different things. One is taking a look at the mindset, right? So in taking a look at that mindset, we're looking at the importance in uncovering any unresolved issues. Any unresolved issues manifest themselves in a way that it blocks motivation. You end up exhibiting behaviors that block your motivation and block you achieving what you want to achieve. And the second point to this, after identifying unresolved issues and tackling them, resolving them, doing the work that it takes to put into resolving them, after you do that, the next thing is to really uncover what you value. What is important to you? What are the non-negotiables that you must have in your life to feel good about what you're doing and where you are in your life? So these are so hugely important to work in on building that motivation to accomplish your goals. I guarantee that if you focus on these two things, unpacking unresolved issues and discovering what your values are, if you focus on those, then that thing that you want to achieve, it will be achievable. So again, put a flower in there if you want to do the exercise with the values. And what was the other one? And then if you want the exercise with unpacking the unresolved issues, put a face emoji in the comments. So again, my mission is to help you focus and tap into your God-given talents, to connect the dots of your natural interests, your practice talents, and life experiences. And this is how we begin to make sense of it all, why you were blessed with the life of single motherhood. So I'd love to hear from you. Send an instant message if you'd like, or send a message on here if you'd like to hear more about the lives that we have going, that I'll have going on. I put this up on my personal page because I knew that I can connect with more of you this way. I do have a business page as well, and if you're interested in staying connected with the talks that we have each week, shoot me a message, and I'd love to include you on that information when we do the lives. I will do a teaching every Sunday night, and then on Fridays we'll do a Q&A, and that will kind of help us unpack what we'll discuss on Sunday. So again, leave a comment here on anything that you would love to hear for the next teaching or tutorial or talk. And then again, on Fridays, we will have a Q&A. So thanks so much for those of you that did join me today. And for those of you that are listening on a replay or listening later after this live has been posted, I'd love to hear from you as well. So have a wonderful evening, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.